Hey guys, most people know me as that very crazy, fun, easygoing girl, very gentle, not, worried about so many things. As far as some people are concerned, they actually think that I don't have any problem. I went to the best of schools. I was never put out of school for any reason. I was never sent out of class because of school fees. I went to all private schools all my life, went to the best of the best schools abroad. So now imagine growing up like that, having everything I wanted. I even finished school. My parents even bought me a brand new car. Don't get now. We're going to the world and explore. And I felt, by the time I just enter Lagos like this, I'll just get one job in one TV station. I'll just be a very big girl cruising in my car, nice hair, nice outfits, nice jewelry. I thought that I was the it. I thought that it was me. I thought I was the girl. I thought this is who the reference is going to be. But hey, as I was planning all those things in my head, I drive a nice car, wear a nice dress, wear a nice hair. Life was looking at me being, oh, mommy me. It started with me not getting the kind of jobs that I wanted. And I was like, what's going on? In fact, before I even go into that, I've always had, I'm a huge lover of music, for those who know me. And I'm an instrumentalist, for those who also know that part of me. And I've always felt like, why not create a synergy between old artists and new artists? Let's have a wild stage performance. Let's have collaborative songs done by these great people and make magic happen. A very big idea, an explosive idea. But guess what? So I presented my idea to my parents, loving, supportive as usual. They're like, okay, yes, let's knock it off. We can do it. So I called the popping artists and the old artists. We had Salawa Abeni, Musili Aruna Ishola, called Medi, Shantizu, YC, Reminis. It was a big idea. I thought by the time the idea would land like this, oh, mommy, it will shake leg, titi. Sorry, land. It will shake land, titi. But unfortunately, it's me that it now shake titi. And guess what? People didn't come for the show. After my parents had invested millions. People didn't turn out for the show. And it was the first time in my entire 23 years at the time that I would do something and it won't work. It was a hard moment for me to learn that I cannot have everything I want in life. We did it again the second year. The good thing this second year is that my parents were able to use their influence to talk to a few of their friends. So they bought the VVIP tickets. I think we sold 500,000 per table that year. And that was how we were able to make some good monies for the show. But it still wasn't the big show that I wanted. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go to Lagos and try and find something. I got myself a TV job. It wasn't what I wanted. I loved the show, but I didn't like the platform. I wanted more. And there was just one time I'm like, you know what? I'm done with all these things. I'm just going to go to Tribune or Punch. Maybe I'll read mask and I'm going to be typing paper there. Let me just go there. Because it was everything I wanted was not working. It wasn't working. I thought my parents had given me the best education. I'd given myself the best gift by studying and having good results. My grades were good. CV looked good. But I wasn't getting the job that I wanted. I wasn't getting the opportunities I wanted. And I sat and I'm like, I want to be this at 25. I'm already 24. 25 is next tomorrow. And I'm not even close to where I want to be. What's going on? And guess what? I'm 26. I'm 27. I am 28. I'm like, I am 28 going on 30. What am I going to do with my life? And it became more frustrating and frustrating. Along the line, I'd produced different content for different TV channels. I would submit the content. They would say the content is not good enough. I would have spent millions shooting the content. They will cancel, they will throw away the content. I'll go back to it. In fact, there was a day I had a meeting with a particular TV channel, one of the biggest we have in Nigeria, and he said to me, oh, this is what the show we want. Go and do this. I went back, pulled the team together, did XYZ. Took the CD to them, the whole season. When I got to the office on the island in Lagos, Nigeria, and they said to me, oh, we are very sorry, it does not meet our standard. I said, no. You told me to use this camera, this type of light, this standard of guests. I had A-list as guests on that show. In fact, I paid some A-lists to be on that show. And they didn't take the script from me. And at the time, I used to live in Magodo in Lagos. So from the island, I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to go home. So I got in the car and I broke down in tears. I was in the car for almost 1 hour, wailing, as I was wailing. Like, what? So, okay, no, let me just go home and continue my wailing. Immediately, I got to Magodo. For those who are familiar with that express, I was looking at Beggar ahead of me. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to drive straight to Ibadan. And technically, from Lagos Island, I drove all the way to my parents' house in Ibadan. I called my mom, like, Mommy, are you home? She said, yes. So I didn't call. She goes, oh, he's home as well. I said, oh, very good. I'm on my way to Ibadan. I'll see you soon. And I drove into the house. I packed. Good thing, they were both in the compound. I got up from the car. I fell on the ground, and I started crying. And they were like, what happened? What's wrong? What's this? What's that? And I was like, after everything that I did, these people still said the show is not good enough. I abandoned the whole thing for like 6 months. I'm like, well, whatever, TV is not for me. Let me just go and be doing presenter work in a place. I started again as an independent producer. I started running my own show, met a director, we're working together. Things were not going well. This time around, I even went ahead and did a brand new investment. Bought cameras, lights, spent millions buying equipment, started again. At some point, I was not looking at myself that maybe because my parents are actually willing to support, I'm just wasting their money. Maybe I don't have talents. Maybe I don't even know how to host. Maybe I don't even have the brain to create content. So I lost hope in myself. I lost faith in myself. I lost trust in myself. I lost everything. I just started feeling like I just said, you know what, maybe I didn't even have sense. I'm just stressing myself. And then in 2018, after I prayed to God, I fasted for so many days. Like dry fasting in my house, in my good, I didn't step out. I'm like, God, I'm giving this another go. And I told God, I prayed to God, I asked him for one thing, and he did it. I said, God, I'm about to start again. I'm starting again now. According to what I discussed with you before 3-4 years ago, I'm supposed to be it right now. So I said, God, I'm about to start again. All the times I have lost, please make it up for me. So it's really exciting now that he's giving me the grace for people to see what I do and for people to appreciate what I do. And it just feels like, oh my God, a few times I've heard people say, oh my God, this girl just came. She's just popping. And I'm like, I just came. I've been grinding since 2013. I just didn't came. I've been around. You just didn't hear me because they have removed the battery off my mic. But now I've gotten original dressed. Do get me now. Now I'm on what? I'm a speaker. I can't load the volume. So it's a struggle of having to fail and get up. I had to fall 3 times. And the 4th time. So you know how we always tell ourselves that just do it 3 times and then if it doesn't work, then it's not what it is or it's not worth it. I had to try 4 times. And it was on my 4th production, the Fashion Shock show to be precise, that made people say, hey, where's this girl? But most importantly, I also like to chip in that failing and starting all over again was not a process of doing the same thing. I constantly thought of how to do it different, what to add to it, what to make it catchy, what to make it exciting. It is okay to feel like giving up. Trust me, it is okay. It is okay to be fed up. It is very, very okay. It is okay to be tired. It is very, very okay. But in the midst of all of this okay, I want to tell you, please do not be afraid of failure, because the process of failure itself is a magnifying learning curve that will help you to become a better person in life. Like I said before, feel free to feel bad. Feel free to embrace your failure, because in all of this is the excellence that you're pushing. And with that consistency, you will get there.
I'm Ereme Abraham. Some people know me as Twice. I'm from Edo State. I'm a Nigerian. My mom is Yoruba. My dad is from Edo. And that's where I get the Yoruba vibe that you get in my videos. I grew up in Ibadan. You don't need to know my school because I don't really like school like that. But yeah. First of all, I dealt with the fact that nobody, apart from the fact that nobody liked what I was doing, nobody wanted me to do what I was doing. So, and I don't really say this often, but my mom actually took me for deliverance because she felt like I could be doing more with my life, you know. Because I studied different things and I just realized overall that my interest was in what I'm doing right now. So I studied law at some point. I did other courses, you know. I did graphic design and stuff like that, but I wasn't allowed to go anywhere near theater. I've always been, I won't really say discouraged because I'm stubborn too. So I had to like change where I was. I had to change my location, everything, and just work on myself. Yeah, so I had to break down at the point in time, and it was messy. It was messy, and that's why when I still hear and see some people make fun of that incident, but I'm just like, oh, they like this person is an idiot. But yeah, like all you go through is sadness. You don't really understand depression. Like there's sadness and there's depression. You not having money, you being broke, you're sad. You get, but there's some times where some things really hit you. And let me give you an example of depression. Now, waking up every morning feeling like you can't achieve anything, you can't be anything great in life. That maybe your only job is to be behind the TV, just watching celebs and whatever. That's a kind of mental, you know, problem, and it might end up leading to depression. You know, having that low self-esteem. You don't have any self-worth. Like you just feel like you're useless. You know, and I feel like it's worse than not having money, or worse than not having a girlfriend or things like that. Those things, there's a solution to them, like an immediate solution. But when it comes to like depressed moments and stuff like that, it's a struggle. It's a serious struggle. And yeah, so the time when this happened was when I started doing my daddy Toby, mommy Toby, and I think Taufik was already there as well. I'm not sure. So the funny thing is, my brother might not like this, but the funny thing is, I and my brother, we used to share a room in a flat of like, there were like 3 rooms in the whole flat, and I think there were 5 residents living there. Then I and my brother, we used to share a room. So in the whole house, we're like, let's say 6 or 7, yeah, or 5, I can't remember. But anyway, the point is, we used to share the same room, and that's where I used to record my skits back then in the room. I'll just tell him to lie down on the bed, or if he wants to take an excuse, we'll just go outside and I'll record, then join it together. So what really happened was the fact that there was a time he was really sick, and that took some of our money away. Then while we were working, it was like we were working and there was no, I don't know how to say it, there was nothing to show for it. So we get our money, we do overtime sometimes, and it got so messy. We're just empty. We're even owing people because of hospital bill and stuff like that. So at that point in time, I was coming back from work one day, and I didn't have money to like board a bus or transport, anything. And this distance, I'm talking about, I don't really know mainland like that, but it's like from Admiralty to like Songotedo. And I had to just trek for that whole night. I trekked for like 3 hours. And trust me, I'm a fast trekker when I decide to. And I was listening to music and stuff. So I kept trekking. And when I got home, I was so exhausted. And the painful part was the money I was going to get as my salary, I was supposed to use it like pay hospital bills. So there was nothing left. The next day, our landlord came in, said we need to move out. He actually gave us 2 weeks extra grace because we're trying to pay up. So he said we should move out. Then as I said we should move out, I was so stressed. Like I didn't even know what to do at first. And that was when I started falling sick more often. We're not really eating. Sometimes we'll go and beg our neighbors for rice. Then we'll cook it, then mix it with, we'll sprinkle maggi or salt inside. Stir it, use oil, we'll eat it. Sometimes if it's gari, we'll drink the gari. Buy biscuit and eat it with the gari. Biscuit was like our own sugar then, because there was no even money to buy sugar and shit like that. So it kept happening. Then I decided to go and look for another job that can pay, more money so we can pay our bills and get a new place. Then I think my first week of starting the job, I had food poisoning. I don't know how come. I started throwing up. I was sick. Then for like 3 days, I couldn't just go to work. Everything that came into my stomach was coming out immediately. So my work, whatever, they thought I wasn't serious, and obviously I look very unserious. So so they told me that they sacked me from the job. They didn't pay me nothing. So I was back on the street again. Like I didn't have a dime. Like, everything was just stressing me, you know. I'll call some family members, they will tell me trash. And mind you, before I even got to this stage, I will never skip this story, even though I'm not supposed to say it, but it's very annoying. I used to live with one of my aunts then, until I decided to go and look for a job. Then, you know, they chased me out of the house and I slept on the road for like 2 days. When I mean road, I mean I slept from buses to buses. I'll sleep like 2 hours in this bus. If the bus starts and say they want to start moving, I'll sleep in another bus and stuff like that. So I did that for like 2 days till I spoke with one of my classmates in school then. Then he introduced me to some people that I was living with before we even got to this stage. So everything wasn't making sense to me at that point because I was working, I was making efforts, nothing was coming. In fact, I was losing everything, if that was something. And mind you, our landlord has chased us out, so we were living in my brother's car, which he eventually sold anyways. We were living in my brother's car, we go out at night to shower when nobody's seeing us, we come back in there. There was serious cold, so we had to even turn on the heater, we go and buy fuel, borrow money, buy fuel, buy like, I don't know, whatever can sustain us for that night, and we'll move on. Sometimes we just use our blanket and our luggages to like keep us warm and stuff. So that part, it went on for a while. So this day when I said I had food poisoning and everything, they sacked me. I was hopeless. There was nothing else I could do. So I think I went back home. Then my brother's car was not there again. I think we could not afford to pay tax or something. They've towed the car. It had some of our things inside too that were gone. And from there I was like, what's left? Like, there's nothing left. None of my friends or families are reaching out. Like, it was just messed up. So what I decided to do that day, I told myself, I said, okay, there's no way out. Like, and I've always not wanted to stress my mom because it was money issue that made my aunt chase me out, you know, when I could have literally been there. And I'm trying to work. He said I can't work, so what's the problem? Anyway, I decided I'm just going to take my life. So I went back home. I told my bro I was coming. Then I went on Twitter. I just said a few things because in my mind, I knew I was going to die. Like, I just had it planned already. So I said a few things and I went off my phone and I was just looking for how to just kill. I was thinking of different ways to just kill myself. So I thought about the London Bridge at that point in time. And I was going there. When I got there, I was just entering shuttle to shuttle. There's this oyster we had then. I still had top up on it. So I shuttled from places to places there. And I went to London. When I got there, I realized that it was a very busy area. If I decided to jump, someone might stop me or someone might catch me, or if I jump, they might come and rescue me and it's going to become something more serious than that. So I said, okay, I was going to go to town, like the express, where cars are just, you know, boom, boom. So once I get on the road in front of a car, it just hits me. I don't have to think of anything. So I went back home to go and ask my neighbor for money to take me to the express where I can just, you know, cross and just get my life off. So when I went back home, on my way back home, I think I was 10 minutes away from the house. My bro called me and said police have surrounded the whole house and everything. Apparently, I think some celebs when they saw my tweets, they were saying some things out there. Fowls was sending out my pictures. Some other celebs, Tonya Imako and a few people, and Kaponeski, they just sent out details there, So apparently police vans, ambulance, whatever, they were already where my brother's car was and everything. And he told me that they already handcuffed him because they felt like he had something to do with the whole situation. They were going to go and investigate and blah, blah, blah. So at that point in time, they said they were not going to release him until they see me. So I felt like that was the only reason why I showed up. If not, I would have just begged for alms on the way and still go to that express. So what I was just thinking of is that I've suffered with this guy. Like, he's my friend. I call him my bro. I've suffered with this guy. We've gone through a lot. I can't let the police take him for what he hasn't done, you know, and stuff like that. So my own plan was just go there and tell them this thing was my plan. It had nothing to do with it, you get. So by the time I got back there, everything was calm. They asked me a few questions. They said they wanted to help me, like take me for some orientation and whatever. I said no. And, you know, and they asked me, am I sure I'm not going to do this again? I said I won't do it again. They said if I have to do that, that if I feel like doing that, I should send, like I should call a line and stuff like that and whatever. So by this time, my phone was blowing up. I don't even know how people got my number. Everyone was just calling me, messaging. My mom was calling. And my mom called me. I knew things were very tough for us that time because one of my stupid stepdads had already cleared my mom's property and everything overnight. So I knew things were really rough for my mom, but I was frustrated. So I spoke with her on the phone and I said, I don't want anybody to call me. I don't want to hear from any family member, anything. Because they were not there up until this time that I wanted to kill myself. There was a woman, I think, I'm trying to remember her name, Pastor Mrs. something. She sent me £100 that day. That was equivalent to like 30K back then. So I'm forever grateful to that woman. And I don't care what anyone says. She can't be wrong in my eyes. Anyways, that was how I and my bro, we got back on our feet. We started looking for jobs again. And, you know, things just got better. Then, there was one of my classmates then. His name is K. He later on turned out to be my manager, even though things didn't really work out well. But he told us to come and stay. He told us to come and stay with him for like a few months or weeks till I get my shit together. And I said I wasn't going to do skit again because I didn't find the purpose, you know. But anyways, he encouraged me and I was like, I need to come back to this thing. Some people are going through what I'm going through and it's because of what I'm doing that they are still alive, blah, blah, blah. Then I came back and started doing skit. And surprisingly, I've grown tough skin since then. I don't really care about what people say and stuff. And if I reply you, I just want to reply you. But normally, I won't even have your time. I don't care if I'm famous or anything. I just want to have things like peace of mind, you know, be able to travel where there's no phone, there's no coverage. Just chill. Enjoy the water, the breeze, fresh air, the birds, you know, things like that.
I was lonely. I was confused. And I needed help. I needed something to ginger me. I needed God to show me a way. Because I really didn't know what I was doing. I was confused. I was lost, but I thank God I found something to bring to life. And that's what brings Bayou. I think every one of us have gone through different stages of depression. You understand? So it all depends on how we all handle it. I feel every problem I faced or I'm facing started from my childhood. I have serious issues with being alone. So my mom died when I was very young, and after that, things have been rough. I didn't know my daddy until after her death. There was this assurance. Like I used to say, if I turn out to be an area boy, omota, a tout, I don't think anybody in my family would be surprised. I get me. I don't even think one person in my family would be surprised. I was pointed as someone that there was no assurance of making it. There was no assurance. I stayed in people's houses and so many people's houses. I got a lot of talks. I was belittled. But who am I to complain? You understand? I did so many things I wasn't proud of. I have begged to eat. I have hustled along the road to eat. I I wished I had someone to direct me on how to live my life. But I lacked that. I lacked direction. I lacked parenthood. You understand? I single-handedly took care of myself. I played smart on nature, and it was a risky move. So, depression, suicide, the solution to it is being contented, seeing what the little you have as a big deal, celebrating your little wins. The solution to depression is inside you. You understand? It's not something that you feel when money comes, when fame comes, it's going to be handled. No. You understand? The solution to it is within yourself. It's meeting the right people. The thing about me is I don't think I have one content that brought me out there. You understand? I just have a lot of good content. You understand? So, but when I really felt like Bayu is doing something right, is when I started making skits, I told God, I told myself that, okay, this thing that I want to do, I'm going to do it for a year. Because my dad used to say, anything you do for a year, for a whole year, back to back, and you don't get anything positive from it, then maybe you're not doing the right thing. You understand? And I look at myself that, because on the road of being successful, I did a lot of things. I learned tailoring. You understand? Because I was confused. I just wanted to do something. I hated hearing from this side and that side that you're a man. How will you just be staying at home? You have to do something. So I paid somebody close to my house to teach me tailoring, even though I didn't even think I was even interested in it. So I paid just to do something, just to not look lazy to people. So when I found skits and I started doing skits, I told God that I'm going to do this for 1 year, and you should just give me a sign. Anything is enough. Any sign is enough. So when I did my first skit, it actually went viral. You understand? Like top blogs carried it. That's a good thing, but at the same time, it looked like something not too good to me, because people I did it with, they put whatever we do next, the next skit, that okay, if it's good, then all these top blogs will carry it again. I did the second skit, nobody carried it. The third skit, nobody carried it. So people were feeling like, maybe we were just lucky at the first place. So, but when I really felt like, okay, I'm doing something right, is old-time friends calling to tell me, we love what you do. You understand? You know, if person want popular, you go popular from your neighbors, from school friends, from office, just people around you. So it started with people around me telling me, nice one. We love what you do. Now you write this script. Now you do this by yourself. Now you write this thing yourself. You think I'm yourself. And me saying yes. And then from me getting comments, because there was a point where by what my friends say wasn't enough. Because I'm like, what else will this one say? He has no choice. He will say he likes it, no. You You understand? Because he's my friend. So when I started getting comments from what I do, I felt like, okay, this was as strangers. For them to make time to comment, it means a lot to them. Getting DMs, and during that 1 year that I gave myself, I got to meet somebody who's at the top, which is his name is Oluwadolas. He let me know I was different. Are you getting me? So those are the times where I felt like I was doing something right. For anyone that's out there that wants to give up or have it in mind to quit, I want to say don't quit. I want to say don't give up. I want to say if something went good, if something went better, that's when you hear voices in your head to quit. You understand? So when your prayer won't answer, devil go come tell you, say, stop doing it. You understand? So why not just, anytime you want to quit, give it one more day. When that day comes, you want to quit, give it another day. When that day comes, just keep giving it another day. Till your consistency, your patience becomes or brings to you whatever you want. So don't give up.
My name is Eden Victor. I'm a filmmaker, also a content creator, and I like food a lot. I like food. I like onje. I like food. I think what has been my greatest life challenge was when I lost my dad. Prior to his death, our relationship was not that great. So I think the last time I saw him, we didn't really talk to each other. So I think, having that last memory of my dad is very, very painful for me. Overall, it was like a great dad. He was a good man, and I miss him so much. The story is quite long. I didn't just find myself into filmmaking. Basically, I didn't just find myself into filmmaking. After secondary school, I started, learning computer. So my mom, she put me in one computer school. So after like 5 or 6 months, I left there. I went to computer village. They said it's computer village to learn computer where. Okay, I went to computer village for about another 3 months. And let me tell you, that 3 months, I didn't learn one thing. They didn't teach me anything. I just went back home. And so I started going online. So from Facebook, I started seeing, Aki Alabi films, started seeing the music videos and stuff like that. So I was fascinated by them. So I must, work with this man. Started sending me messages through Facebook, obviously he gets thousands of other messages. So I didn't get any reply. Before I met I went through Aki Alabi's page. Before I saw his page, before I came across his page, there was my neighbor then. He was into, this event proper, like they do events, like event coverage basically. So sometimes after, I'll just go to his shop. I'll just stay there. Not like I was going to his shop because I wanted to learn event coverage. There was one pop-off that they normally sell in that area. So he normally buys that pop-off. So I'll just go there and collect AC, eat pop-off, go back home. I started with events, basically. Events. After a while, I left there. Then a friend of my mom now introduced my mom to Aki Alabi because we moved from where we were staying. So the streets that we now moved to, we didn't even know that Aki Alabi office was there. So it was my mom's friend. They now say, is this not the person that you say? Actually, you say your son wants to learn this film, something. Hey, this is the man now. So we went there, and that was how I found myself properly into like filmmaking. I was with Aki Alabi for, let's say, 3 years, So after that, during the last days with Aki Alabi, that was when I got a DM from Oluwa Dollars. Yes, I got a DM from Oluwa Dollars that he wanted to do some videos. So after then, Oluwa Dollars, then I did some other videos with Bovi for Bovi, then MC Lively, then Macaroni, like a lot of people, a lot of people. When I finished secondary school, my sister was in the uni, so my parents, they could not like put both of us, sponsor both of us at that point. So that was what made me, say, let me go and learn one or two. And since then, it has just been this line of work. I don't think there has been this challenge or whatsoever. But the one thing I can say is, when I started working with Akin Alabi, so basically it was supposed to be for about 3 months, I think 3 months or so. The third month, I never sabi one thing. I don't know anything. So I was like scared that, is this a family? Are they not going to be tired of me that, you've done this one, done this one, done this one, and this is your third month, you don't know anything. Not like I do not know anything like that too. But then my big ogas then at that time, they were not ready to, because it was not Akin Alabi directly that was teaching me at that point. They were like other people. So basically, I just sit and ask questions. Sometimes when you don't practicalize these things, and I didn't have like a laptop or stuff like that, when you don't practicalize these things, you feel like you don't know them. So that was my own case. So every time I go back home, like I say, God, this third month will still finish, to soon finish, or will they say I should leave? I don't know anything, no. So every time that was like my fear that, will I understand? What am I even doing with my life? Like, what am I doing? I've done computer work, I've done this, or I've done events, now I'm into like proper filmmaking, and this is the third month, I don't know the work. So every time, whenever I go home, that's always the fear. I think like the last 2 weeks of the third month, so they now gave me the key that I should be coming to the office and open the office and keep everywhere clean before they come, because my house was like 3 houses away from the office. So those 2 weeks, what I do is the office probably opens around 9. So me, I'll get there by 7. So from 7 to like 9, I will be on the system practicing. That was what I was doing. So like 3 days to like the third month should, finish. Akin Alabi, that's my boss. He just came one day and said, give this man this video, let him edit. He has been seeing you people now. They said yes. That's why they gave me music video to edit. Surprisingly, I did it. And so from there, it just started, like, it was just continuous. So I think that was my fear, and that was how I conquered it, self-practice before they started giving me the jobs to like work on and stuff like that. I think the major turnaround was when I started shooting for Oluwa Dollars. I think that was when I knew that, okay, yes, this is the field, Even if I want to venture into other aspects of this field, I think this is something I really like. So I think that was like, when we started working together, it was like the major breakthrough for me. I think the one thing should be, you should stay true to yourself, and you cannot be another person. You cannot be another person. You have to be yourself. Stay true to yourself. What is that thing that you do? That thing that you find happiness in? You should venture, like, put more, like, stay positive. Basically, you have to remain positive. I know the words, you can just be saying it. They are not easy, but you need to remain positive.
My greatest fear was always to have more potential than I can deliver. I studied law in Obafemi Awolowo University, and I never intended to practice law, but I needed a backup plan. But nobody knew that law was my backup plan. In fact, everybody thought that was what I actually wanted to do. Me, deep down, I knew that this law, I'm not sure. But what if comedy does not work? What then do I do? I put all of my life into my MCA, and I failed. When I say I failed, I mean that I failed. The first show I did, when we finished the show, the people that did the show attempted to collect their money back. I'm not joking. They paid me 7,000 for that show. I remember it was economics freshers party. It was so bad. So I felt extremely terrible. But I didn't back down. I kept going. Before the next 2 shows, I became better. That was even as an MC. As a stand-up comedian, it's a different ballgame. And this was my major problem. I kept thinking, okay, MC work, I sabi do yes, but do I really know how to make people laugh? Like, am I funny? So I started to perform stand-up at some events. My girlfriend was there. In fact, she brought like 4 other babes. And I started cracking. I started cracking. The first one, you know, enter. Crack the second one, you know, enter. Crack the third one, you know, enter. By the time I was about to crack the 4th one, the host, my friend now, the John Odeko, and Oraje Wale, that's why they did like this. Nah, thank you. You would expect that as they did like this, maybe everybody will scatter, clap as I'm going. One light and light, nobody clap. Nobody, oh my God. You see, the road of failure is a lonely one. It's a very lonely one because, in truth, nobody really gives two shits about you when you're failing. So it was a very lonely road for me. I remember that day, I could hardly sleep. I walked on my own out of that place. My babe did not even do like she saw me. It was crazy. This happened a couple of other times, like 2 or 3 other times. And I almost gave up. I think this was the point that I almost gave up. This was the point in time where I was done. I was just going to focus on my law and continue my law work. But there's this friend of mine, MC Edis. He was not having any of it. He kept pushing me. I can do this, blah, blah, blah. I didn't see what the guy saw in me. But the nigga kept pushing me. So late in 2015, I did a show of my own, Live and Laugh. It was my own show. So it wasn't like I was going to perform comedy in other people's show. And I did the show and it went really well. It was then I realized that I needed to tell my story in my comedy. I didn't need to tell stories like other people. You get one man, you get one other, because that was the model I was trying to adapt. I realized then that I needed to tell my own story. And that was the turning point. There are many, and I don't wish I didn't do it. In fact, I love that I did it because it's all a process. Life is a process. However, when I came of age, when I came out of secondary school, it was very necessary that I also had my own stuff. Like I needed my own money now, my own, to be doing fine boy. Because I didn't have Shingbai. So I think the first work I did then was I used to serve in parties. There's this woman that we used to work for then. We used to serve drinks in parties. We used to collect 500 naira, yes, per day. And I remember then that I was always so embarrassed when I go to parties and I see my colleagues, my mates from school, sitting, and I had to like serve drinks and stuff. It was extremely embarrassing. But man's needed money now, so it was no big deal for me. I did it. That was the first one I did. After that, I worked in a cement store. I think that's my most hectic job yet ever. It was crazy. I worked there for 1 month. It was crazy. I used to carry bags of cement. I was the only one in the workshop. So every time someone came to buy cement, I'm the one that would carry it. I used to carry, on an average per day, at least 10, 15 bags of cement at different points in time. And the bag of cement is really, really heavy. I was 17 then. Yeah, I think I was 17 or 16. After a month, I had to leave that job because my account did not complete and they removed it from my salary. And what I say, if they keep removing my salary like that, what am I going to earn? My salary was 4,000 and I lost 1 bag of cement. 1 bag of cement was 1,500. Out of 4,000, they removed 2,500. What is now remaining in the mom said I should not go to work again. After I left, I was even a jam lesson teacher for 5 years. Yes, I was a jam lesson teacher for 5 years. There was a time I even sold pure water in my hostel. to get by. I was in 300 level then. I used to sell pure water to the entire hostel to get by. So I did a lot of things, quite a lot. But I understand that it was a building process. I understand that it was making me learn a lot about myself more. Those things taught me how to be a better man, how to be a better person, how to manage my temperament more. A lot of things. So I'm absolutely glad that I did all those menial jobs. You would not gain anything from giving up. If anything, it's going to add more pain, more sorrow to you and everyone who's around you. So, at the other side of fear is everything you've ever wanted. I think that's the best advice that I can give anybody. At the other side of fear is everything you ever wanted. So whatever it is that you're scared of the most, I think that's what you should be doing. But we owe it to ourselves, we owe it to our generation to find that one thing that we know how to do well and we love to do. I think when you find something that you know how to do, but more importantly, that you love, no matter how the urge to give up is strong, when you love something genuinely, you stick by it, whether money is coming in or not. So find what you love to do. Make sure you know how to do it well and do it. You can't gain anything from giving up, absolutely not. Nothing.